Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man at Universal's Islands of Adventure. This is easily my favorite dark ride. Alright, before I went here, I've gone before when I was like 5. I remember this being good, definitely not as good as Forbidden Journey, but I love this a lot more than Forbidden Journey now, and even more than Flight of Passage, and I'll get into why in this review. So, for starters, you pull up to the entrance of this ride and you see Spider-Man hanging down. It's a great looking sign. And then you enter the queue. You've got the Daily Bugle. You've got all these screens playing like the comics or whatever. It's not the most elaborate thing ever, but it's still one of my favorite queues of all time just because, you know, how simple yet how like grand it feels at the same time. It just has a vibe that something like this grand facade in Harry Potter doesn't have that I just absolutely love. This ride usually doesn't have the longest wait in the world, but it still can get a big line. Definitely don't prioritize it early in the morning, but it's one that you'll probably want to do a couple times actually, because it's that good. So you're going to put on your 3D glasses once you get in the ride vehicle, and it really does enhance the experience. I feel like a lot of people say they're gimmicks, but it is a gimmick, but it's a good gimmick. You get in these ride vehicles, and they're these weird 4x3 sort of ride vehicles. They're really strange, but I like them a lot because the movement on them is really wild if it's a ride like this that actually uses it properly. So you're going to start out, and you kind of get this intro telling you about, oh yeah, Doc Ock's on the loose. And then Spider-Man comes over and says like, oh yeah, be careful. This could be the most dangerous night of my life. So yeah, just sort of building up the anticipation and sort of introducing you to this ride vehicle and how it actually moves, because it gets a little violent right at the start. So it's just getting you prepared for what's about to happen. And something else you'll notice throughout this entire ride is they'll make these little jokes here and there, and yeah, it just really adds to the ride experience that's shown at the beginning, middle, end, literally every part of it. There's these jokes sprinkled in there that, I mean, some of them are kind of like dad jokes or whatever, but it still adds to the ride for sure. So you're going to go through, you're going to see a truck come at you. That's a really good effect. You're going to start to really feel the vehicle moving as you move to the next scene, or the next screen, I should say, because that's really the next big stopping point. But until you get there, there's a lot of really good practical sets. And that's truly what makes this dark ride so good, is how it combines the practical sets and the screens. It doesn't just choose to specialize in one, it chooses to specialize in both things. And it's stunning that this was built back in 1999. I mean, it's amazing what they did back then. So at this next screen, you kind of see Doc Ock's evil plan and everything, and Electro kind of gets a little cranky or whatever, and then you go over to the next scene and Electro shocks you, and that's like a really violent moment when the ride vehicle's moving all about. It's pretty wild. You get some more interaction with like Doc Ock after that, and then oh my god, these vehicles go on an absolute rampage, I'm telling you. You're flying through like New York, you got the Statue of Liberty head above you and everything, and oh my god, the movement on this is so aggressive, and it's so perfectly timed with everything. I mean, Doc Ock's basically just shooting like this laser thing at you, and then he launches you straight into the sewers, and you're spinning around. The whole ride vehicle's doing this extremely violent motion, absolutely tossing you about. You get some more violent laterals on this thing than most coasters, period. So it's really intense. It's definitely not something grandma could go on, that's for sure. But yeah, after this section, you'll meet Hydro. You go face to face with Doc Ock again, and then you go face to face with Green Goblin, and he throws this fireball at you, and it's so perfect how this lines up with the screen and then the practical effect, how he throws it at you, and then right as you're going into the next room, the fireball pops out of the wall. I mean, it's the timing that makes the perfect dark ride, I've realized with this thing. It doesn't matter how grand a set is, how technologically advanced it is, like I don't even know. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly timed, and this has literally perfect timing. So you'll experience all that, go through all the motions again, and it's really just perfect up until the big finale. And this finale is also perfect. You've got mostly screens. It's pretty much all screens in here, but it doesn't really matter because the way they portray it is truly exceptional. You've got the movement of the ride vehicles really making you feel like you're flying with Spider-Man around the city to fight all the bad guys. And really, it just all culminates in this. All the bad guys are showing up again, and they're all doing these like one-liners and everything. They all try to take a swing at you. At the end, you'll kind of crash down and then get saved by Spider-Man. That's a really violent movement. But yeah, just all this chaos happening in this one final scene. It's kind of split up between screens, but yeah, it's so perfect. It's the perfect way to end a chaotic ride like this. So that's your ride on Spider-Man. Now, what's the final score for Spider-Man going to be? It's going to be a 1,000 out of 1,000 for a dark ride. If we're talking rides overall, it's not. But for a dark ride, it's pretty much perfect. It's as good as it gets. I think Pirates at Shanghai could definitely beat it, but other than that, I don't even know what could beat this. It's so good. It truly is one of the best dark rides of all time. You have to ride it when you go to Universal's Islands of Adventure. So that's my review of Spider-Man. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.